This is the first estate, and this lesson centers on Nation of Islam is Satan's X Factor. On your screen is an image, the Nag Hammadi Gnostic text. Gnostic comes from the Greek word gnosis, which means the secret or hidden knowledge of God. Within it, we're going to go to the gospel of truth. Father knows his plans in paradise. Second paragraph. The Father is at rest and will. Nothing happens without his pleasure. Nothing happens without the Father's will. And his will is incomprehensible. His will is his footprint. Now, like your fingerprint, your footprint is your signature. In this case, will is God's surname. Strong's Concordance. This book contains the definition of every word in the King James Bible, Old and New Testament. Within it, continuation with the word will. Print off from the Blue Letter Bible, Strong's Concordance. We see what will means because all things came into existence by the will of God. Here we have helm. Okay, so we see what helm means. Top left-hand corner of the screen, that's where you can keep track of the biblical verses I will be using throughout this lesson. Book of James, chapter 3, verse 4. Behold also the ships, which, though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Right? Brings us here to the name Williams, Lost Tribes of Israel. Okay? Symbol is a rose. Confirmed here. Now, as you can see, the name Williams breaks down to Wilhelm. That's the Germanic version of it. Now, I want to point out that the word germ means birth or origin. So the original German is Adam. He's the original man. So, he's the Son of God, and which would mean that this would be his surname. Also keep in mind that God said to Moses, I am that I am. So you have will, I am. Now, when you add the S to it, which makes it plural, means more than one, because of the Trinity. So the whole Trinity is of this name. It's the original name. All right, so Wilhelm is written in the Bible, as you can see. Okay, now I will read a verse in the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. I am the rose of Sharon and the lilies of the valley. Now, we know that King Solomon is the son of King David, and this is also Jesus' bloodline. So, Williams is actually the chief house of all of Israel. All right? So, moving along, we have the word Willie, and you see William, and Willow here, the female version of that name. So, Willow. Now, going to the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So they saw a chariot, William's chariot, in the sky. That's what he's speaking of, flying roll. All right? So here, the name Willow again, okay, feminine version of William. And then we go to the key, which is Arab right there. Okay, so Williams is the original Arab. That's why people say, well, Jesus was an Arab. That's code speech. Because the original Arab was Williams. We know Arabs don't carry the surname Williams. Okay, it's not their name. Anyway, we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verses 1 through 4. Yet now hear, O Jacob my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. Very, very important. Okay? Now, brings us to here. As you can see, Arab meaning ambush. Okay? That's what it means. Ambush. And that's what happened. We've been ambushed. Our surnames. Now, right here, word is Arabian. So we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verses 19 and 20. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Yeah, because of the Nation of Islam telling blacks that we have European surnames, which we now know is not true. All right? Arabians, or the people in the Middle East who call themselves Arabs, were also able to come in and call themselves Arabs when the original Arab is in actuality Williams, black people, Negroes. Okay? Now, they used the members of the Nation of Islam to do this. Now, we would hope that they had the wool pulled over their eyes. Okay? So we have Minister Louis Farrakhan. Okay? I think that ego-driven leaders will be a thing of the past because the masses are tired. Yes, indeed, they are. You know, and I actually like Louis Farrakhan, you know, but like so many teachers within the black community in the religious sector, that includes also the growing Hebrew Israelite community, they're going to learn that their teachings have really misled the black community. All right. And my conjecture would be that most of them are going to be too proud to admit this, and that will be their downfall. Okay? So, we all know who this man is. Malcolm X. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And these are just great quotes by these men, you know. And like Farrakhan, I also like this man a lot as well, Malcolm X. You know, now here we have Elijah Muhammad, the future Master Fire Rod Muhammad, by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the future Master Fired Muhammad. Wow. Now, what's interesting about this is as we go on to here, this is Fired, Master Fired Muhammad. He looks nothing like a black man. Really doesn't. At best, he looks like he's East Indian or someone of that nature. Okay, so anyway, let's read a little on Master, Master Fired Muhammad. So, Wallace Fired Muhammad was a minister and founder of the Nation of Islam. He established the Nation of Islam's first mosque in Detroit, Michigan in 1930 and ministered, okay, his distinctive religion there for 3 years before mysteriously disappearing in June 1934. His follower and succeeding leader, Elijah Muhammad, proclaimed him to have been Allah on earth. Ouch. Okay. Brings us here. And as you can see, the key, the word is Allah. Okay. To ascend or to go up. Okay. Wow. So, anyway, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verses 12, 13, states, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. So, Fard Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad called him Allah. And in this particular scripture, he's associated here as Lucifer. All right, so as we move on, same word, Allah, ascend, okay, right here. And we'll go here. So, Allah Akbar. See, that's what they say in the nation of Israel, or excuse me, Islam. We're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse, and shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. So eating the mouse, meaning these people who are these blacks, these Negroes, indigenous people of this land, who have taken this teaching and applied it to them. They ate the knowledge. Okay? They ate the knowledge to not just their destruction, but really to the whole black community's destruction, because the stigma now follows us with this whole surname business, adding the X to the last name, because the Nation of Islam is seen as the most, productive community within black society here. You know, I mean, the most stable when I say productive. My question to them, though, is why haven't you built your own community? You're called the Nation of Islam. So, the Nation of Islam, you should have basically, taken a portion of the United States and created your own little country within the country. This your own little nation, just for you. Create your own businesses, your own banks, your own hospitals, okay? But that didn't happen. So realistically, it's not that productive. The new nation that's coming in, nation of Israel, is going to be that nation that I'm describing. This here, nation of Islam, was just a setback for us, because now you have blacks roaming around thinking that we have slave master names when these are actually our real names. Okay? So, Allah Akbar. Akbar meaning mouse. So, here we go. We see the mouse or rat eaten by the serpent. Well, here we go. Phineas, mouth of brass or mouth of a serpent. And we know who Phineas is. See, because the serpent's not just an evil creature, the serpent's actually a divine creature, okay, as well as used for evil. All right, remember Egypt. Moses' staff turned into a serpent and Pharaoh's. So you had, good versus evil. So Phineas being, you know, the Levite, okay, son of Eleazar and grandson of Aaron, all right? So, serpent's tongue, all right? So, in other words, this new logic or this new teaching of our nation is going to get rid of all of these, false religions or these detrimental teaching religions, okay, out of the black community. All right? Brings us here, Kaaba stone. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, verses 2 through 4. So, and he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Okay? And that's what this religion has done to those who follow it. It has really corrupted you. Because one minute, Farrakhan doesn't know if he want to read the Bible or the Quran. And these days, it seems like he reads them both equally. There are times when I watch him and he's quoting the Bible even more than he is the Quran. Okay? So, you know, but anyway, as you can see, you can read this here at your own leisure, all right? But anyway, I just want to move on. Brings us here. So, actually, I'm going to go back a bit and just read a little of this. In the 5 daily prayers, Muslims face the Kaaba in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It is a cube-shaped stone structure that was built by Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael on the same foundation where Prophet Adam is believed to have built a sanctuary for the worship of the one God. Muslims do not worship the Kaaba. It serves as a focal point for Muslims around the world, unifying them in worship and symbolizing their common belief, spiritual focus, and direction. Interestingly, the inside of the Kaaba is empty. Okay? So the Kaaba stone is empty. As you can see, it's a black stone or covered in black. Okay? So we're going to go to the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16. Okay? I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. So as you can see, black means bright, shining, glittering. Okay? Because we are black. That's what it means. We are bright and we are shining. We are glittering. All right? So anyone says to you that we are not black, we are black. They just don't know the true meaning of it. Anyway, here we have the black stone. Okay? So, the black stone, you can read this. Okay? see what's at the bottom. Give you that. All right. There we go. The black stone. Brings us here. The word is Judah, which means praised, son of Jacob by Leah. Okay. Now, after the division of the kingdom, the name of this tribe was applied to one of the kingdoms, which included the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, with a portion of Simeon and Dan, and had Jerusalem for its metropolis. After the carrying away of the 10 tribes and after the Babylonian exile, this name is applied to the whole land of Israel. So all 12 tribes are known as Judah. Okay? We're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Okay? Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So, languish means weak, feeble. So it means that our gatekeepers have not been doing their job. And it also would imply that they are not solid. They're weak, and Satan used them because of this. So anyone who Satan didn't use, probably because they can't be bought and paid for. Okay? So, anyway, I understand or hope that you got the gist of this message that Nation of Islam is Satan's X factor. Because, I will reiterate, the surnames that we have are actual surnames. America is our homeland, our holy land. In order for the invaders to have come in and stolen our land and brainwashed us into believing that the surnames that we have are not our surnames, because they had to use those for themselves. If they're going to take our land, take our homes, basically they're stealing our identity. And they couldn't just go halfway. They couldn't just steal the land. You know, America, they had to take our name as well. They had to go all the way. And so now the fight is to reclaim our identity. And that starts with the name. My point is that the Nation of Islam was just a setback for us. They really achieved nothing because they don't even have their own nation within America. I mean, even when foreigners come here, they at least have like their own little towns, and they have that within like months. Within a year, they'll have their own town, like Chinatown, Little Italy, Nigeria town, and Somali town, and all those things. We don't have that. Nation of Islam doesn't have that. You just see a bunch of people, blacks who call themselves Muslims in the United States, and they're just spread out in every state. Okay? So, anyway, this has been the First Estate with another lesson, and I hope you've been edified. See you in the next one.